何?
All plants on Earth rely on my protection.
Welcome everybody. So that was a little showcase on the newest ally, Swamp Thing. So we're going to start with what I deem to be the worst and then go to what I deem to be the best. So we're going to start off with Harmony Seed. That's the second passive ability. When you use a supercharge, it places a seed on you that accumulates instances of critical healing you output. Basically what this does is that you have 10 seconds when it's at max rate to put out as much healing as you can and get as much critical heals as you can, and depending on how many heals you get in that amount of time is the amount of defense boost that you would get. So if you do 4 stacks, you'll get a 10% increase. If you do 5 to 9, you get a 20% increase, and 10 stacks, you'll get 30% increase. So I used this on my tank on purpose just to see what would happen, and I was able to get to the 0 to 4 stacks in the 10 seconds. So I was able to get it up to 10%, which was not 10%. It was like 7.4, I believe it was. I wouldn't use an ally support spot to place that. Pages gives you a 30% defense boost. I don't think it's worth it. You may have some people that tell you that, you know, you're buffing the group and 30% defense is significant, and it is beneficial. It does help. But to take up an ally spot, removing flash or whatever ally you put in there to help you out for 30% defense, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't use this on any of my tunes. I can't find a way to use this support ability. I'm not fond of it at all. So test it out for yourselves and see what you guys come up with. So we'll leave that where that's at, and then we'll go to Wrathful Seed. So this is the one where if you use a finisher on an enemy, you plant a seed on them, and the more critical hits you do on the target, the more damage that the target will take. With that being said, this is strictly based on crits. It has nothing to do with might, has nothing to do with precision. I showed in the video just doing a weapon attack, excuse me, and I showed in the video using might attacks. So this is a stack-based modifier for the explosion. So where I was able to get it up max was 998,000. That was the max that I was able to do on single target, and on AoE, we'll talk about AoE in a second. And when you don't get it max, I was hitting about almost 600,000. So it ranges depending on how much criticals you get in that time. So using transformation card and candle together gave me the best results to get, you know, the most criticals to get this move to proc quickest with the most amount of damage. And you'll see an example of the video that as soon as you hit a finisher, it places a seed on the enemy, and then the seed grows as you do more crits. But you do have that 10-second window to place as many as you can. Now, with that being said, when you use this on a bunch of ads in the AoE setting, the damage does not split. So even though you will see only one enemy have the seed on top of them, all the enemies will be affected by the explosion. So in the House of Legends, it was 5 enemies, and all 5 of them were hit with the full amount of damage of the 998,000 or the 598,000. So that's something good. Now, in today's content where everything dies extremely quick, you may not be able to get it off. When we had other elite runs that were a little more difficult, a little more challenging, this could definitely be a good support then. But as for right now, I don't see it being useful in today's content. Could it be useful? Absolutely. I'm going to try this more in my battle tank just to see what kind of damage that I can do, especially when you're running Zamarin the alert. I think it would definitely come in handy in there, especially when you pug, because, you know, pug champion here, it will help complete a run. But in everyday use, I don't think you get the most use out of it, because, you know, if you run in a raid, many things will die before you even get a chance to, you know, put some damage out. So there's that. Now let's move into the one that I deem the best out of them all, and that would be the combat ability. Okay, so Balance of the Green. As you can see, this is the hardest hitting ally for AoE right now at this point in time. By far, Superman is still number 2. Superboy, excuse me, was 11 million. This is hitting 13 million unbuffed. So in AoE stance, it's the number 1 ally. In single target, it was doing about 3.4, I think it was 3.7 actually, million, and it's like number 27. So for single target, just on damage alone, it's not that great, but on AoE, it's great. But the damage is good, but that's not the most important thing about it. One of the most important things about it is the healing that you get from it. So I use this on my tank on purpose to see, you know, this is where I have the most health. So I have 2.4 million health on my tank. So what he does is he heals you 50% of your max health. So since I have 2.4 million and some change, every time that attack happened, he healed me for 1.214 million every time that he came in. And you know, I got my health down as low as I can with Lanier's amulet, almost to death. And when he hit the second heal, it again heals you for 50% of your max. So the next time he healed me, it was always for it was 1,214,164 was the first heal. The second heal was always 1,207,970 every time to get me to max health. So that is actually really great in my opinion, depending on how you can work it. In an oh shit moment, when you're tanking, definitely can see this being something that you can use and it can help the group. So just on that healing alone, because you're going to get back to full health, and with the damage is definitely good. Now all that is great, but let's talk about the synergy purpose, the synergy of this. If you have the Envirotech henchman, then there's a synergy move where you get a damage increase and you get extra healing. Now in this example right here, just as I said before, when you summon Swamp Thing, he'll do the healing as soon as he comes out. So there he is. That's the healing proc that you get. Now if you see right here, their Envirotech, they'll shoot a spray up in the air. The spray that they shoot up in the air, the two of the Envirotech henchmen, it heals you for, one is for 740,000 and the other one was for 400,000. So even though my health was at almost empty, with those three healing moves, I was put back to max healing. Excuse me, max healing, max health. So if you combine them two together, you know, can bring you out of a end to a raid to back to full health and maybe able to keep it going or even complete it. Now all that is good and that's great, but they also have a synergy with the damage. So as I said before, Swamp Thing is doing about 13.5 million by himself, and the henchmen were doing about 15 million. So when you use the synergy, you're getting an additional 31? Just want to make sure that I'm accurate. 31, yeah, you're getting about 31 million, so you're getting an additional 3 million by having these allies and this ally and these henchmen run together with the healing. So not that it, you know, negates other allies and other henchmen, but the damage is there, the healing is there. This is something that I really much enjoy and can see myself running, since on my tank I do run the henchman anyway. I Envirotech for the healing, so this is something that everyone should play around with to see how it works for them. So that was a whole lot of talking just to talk about this new ally. I like the direction that the devs are going in right now. You know, it's kind of bad that people that didn't get their Envirotech henchmen, so I feel bad for that, but reusing old allies, old henchmen to be used with new allies to kind of, you know, for the synergy purposes. So they're just making it that it's not something that you acquire and then throw it away and then it's useless in the future. It actually makes it you want to keep things that you have and use things that you have. Not really recycling, but it's just like bringing it to the next level. So I enjoy that. Swamp Thing he's very interesting. I like his support combat ability. So I like the healing. I think it's pretty great, and I like the damage of it as well. The supports, not so much. The Harmony Seed, I think that's terrible. I think that one right there, they probably should have rethought about, reworked it, because the defense boost, I don't believe it's worth it. It's something that I would definitely stay away from. But that's what we have. Thank you for watching the video. Hope it was helpful. To anybody who's on the fence about it, this is definitely, since it's going to be a free ally, definitely everyone should get it, not miss out. As Matt said in his video, when they do events, don't miss out on the events. It's very important, because you never know what you're missing out on, what's going to be important later in the game, and what's just going to be helpful to your overall gameplay. So thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Like goes a long way, and let's just keep it pushing. Thanks everybody.